Good afternoon, YouTube viewers and subscribers. So today I've got a box on my bench that just arrived in the mail, and this is going to be part one of two of what I'm calling a trade deal. So very briefly, a week or two ago, a very awesome subscriber and new friend, gentleman, his name's Roger, contacted me via email, and he was telling me some things about his hobby history and things like that. And he has quite a few engines, and he was actually interested to see if I'd be interested in any of them, and maybe we could work a trade deal. So me being a sucker for getting different engines, and especially if I don't really have to pay for them, if I just can trade some away, I'm all game for that. So what I've got here today is box one, trade deal number one with Roger, and what I gave for this engine was my vintage Sato FA-120S dual plug engine. So let's see what I got in return for this. I obviously know what I got, but you don't yet. It's a special engine. It's a very special engine. And this is what it is. This is what I traded for. This is a brand new in box Pre-Surpass, circa 1983 is when this came out, OS FS-120 four-stroke engine. Now this is the very first time OS went and tried to create an engine with separate rocker arms. And it was not the most powerful of engines, but it certainly is a very nice vintage piece to have. And this is the first time I'm looking inside here. So it looks like we've got our header, high-speed needle. Here's something you don't ever see anymore with engines. An actual set of feeler gauges. These old OS ones came with a .01 and a 0.5, I believe it is. Right, this looks like it actually might say, yeah, 0.01 and then a 0.5, or no, a 0.1 maybe. Let's see what it says here. I'm sorry, yeah, 0.0. Well, it's kind of messed up there. I can't really read that. I don't know if that's 04. Maybe that's a 0.04, and this one's a 0.1. Either way, you don't get these with engines really anymore. And the reason these are angled like this is because these Pre-Surpass engine, just like the OS FS-61, because of the way they designed the rocker cover, the rocker cover just sits right on top. It doesn't encapsulate like a Sato engine where you can get in there. So you have to have that angled feeler gauge so you actually can get in there and set your valve adjustment or your valve lash. So here's some other portions of the hardware kit. Look at this. Here's yet another thing you don't see on engines anymore. A whole set of tools. Especially something like this. Chrome-plated box end wrench. Usually when you come across these things, this foam is completely deteriorated because it doesn't stand the test of time very well at all. I'm going to move that box out of the way, but there's some other interesting stuff in there. Look at this beautiful engine. Now, I was told this is a new in-box engine, and it's got compression. However, after smelling it and seeing some of the residue down here, I don't really believe that this is a new in-box engine. I see what looks to be exhaust residue here. And I think I smell exhaust residue, and it definitely feels like it's rather gummed up. So, I might actually have to. Man, I really don't want to disassemble this beautiful engine. I might actually have to. I'm probably going to end up at some point taking the rear cover off and taking a look inside back there and see the actual condition, because I don't know. I think this engine's been run, just because of what I see down in there. Tooling oil from an OS factory doesn't have a caramel color like that, nor would an engine feel like this. So this engine, in my estimation, has been run. It's probably only run one time, but I do believe it was run. But anyway, nevertheless, I am super psyched to own this thing, and yes, I am very glad that I traded my Sato 120 dual plug away, because my 120S dual plug, because you just can't hardly come across these anymore. And see, this is what I'm talking about here. See, this is just the rocker cover here. It's just here. The rocker arms are inset in here, so you really have to have that 90-degree angle, or that angled feeler gauge to get in there and get on that. You also have to have an offset wrench to get on the adjustment nuts, because it's, you know, within this boundary here, so you can't, if it was just flat, you'd never get on there. You have to have that offset wrench. But anyway, this has been a quick look at trade video number 1 of a trade I made and a new friend I made. Oh, I think I was going to show you here some of these interesting advertising literature that comes in these engines. Okay, here's the paperwork. Let's see if it has. It doesn't look like it has the paperwork. Yeah. So this engine is also missing the instructions. It comes with this marketing literature, which is always kind of nice, because it shows you that time period that the engine came out, and some of the other engines that were being sold at that time period. But no, this engine, I believe, has been run, and it's also, like I said, it's also missing the stock instructions, which I was really kind of hoping to have that. Let's see what's under here. Nope, nothing under there. So, anyway, there you have it for trade deal number 1. Okay, I'm going to turn the camera on here again real quick, because I am going to go ahead and just remove this back cover and take a look inside back there. But to do that, I have to get this carb off. And with these older OS engines, it's very critical that you use the proper P2 or the proper cross-point screwdriver, because these screw heads have been known to be very soft, and they waller out very quickly and very easily. Yes, this engine has been run. This is not a virgin engine by any means. And I damn near destroyed that gasket too, which I think I can probably get a replacement gasket. But clearly this engine, as I suspected, is not new in box, and it has been run. Which means I don't necessarily think these bearings are bad in here. It may just be that I need to throw some more of my own 3-in-1 oil in here and heat this up, and then take this thing out for a run, and I'm sure it'll be fine. Because if nothing else, the way gummy it feels, that gumminess is castor oil, which is actually protecting the bearings. so I don't really see too much liquid coming out of here. But before I put this cover back on, I'm going to put a very liberal amount of 3-in-1 oil in here, and I'll go out and heat it up, maybe put a prop on this thing, spin it through with my electric starter to kind of get it all working freely again, and then we should be good to take it for a run. But I did want to remove this rear cover because, as I suspected, this is not a new in-box unrun engine. But nevertheless, I'm still happy with my trade. So there you go, and thank you very much, Roger, for doing this trade with me.